When you're working with a school database that is about to turn over, you've got a bunch of kids in the database and visitors and teachers. If the school year changes, you want to keep most of the kids, but let go of the graduating ones. If you've had visitors like salespeople, it doesn't matter if they survive into the following year, but if you've got parent visitor accounts, it would probably be good to keep them. And certainly staff accounts you want to keep on hand as well. So High5 gives you tools to manage that database turnover process, and it looks like this. You go into the settings area. Actually, before I start, let me just show you around the database. This is a very simple toy school. It's got one teacher, Mrs. Cooper. There's a kid in her class in grade 5, so she's about to graduate from the school. She's in Miss Cooper's class. There's another kid in a different class, grade 4, and a single visitor who is not a parent or a guardian to anybody at the school. So the challenge is the school year is about to end and we're about to start the next school year, and we want to start off with preserving information if we can and wiping the database if it's appropriate. So we go into the settings area and look at our schedule. So by default, we have a current reporting year. Today is May 31st, 2021. So the reporting year that we're in actually started last September, let's say. On the first day of September, let's suppose the current school year started. It's the current year. If you navigate into your own school, you might find that you need to create a reporting year because it's never been set up at your school, and that's fine. Go ahead. But what we're going to do is get set up for the 2022 school year. Even though it's a little bit on the early side, I'll just be demonstrating with this toy database. So we're going to start a new school year whose name will be 2022. And we'll suppose that this starts again September. And just because of the way the dates work out, let's suppose it's the 6th of September 2021. So I can simply create it and relax until September starts. But for the point of this demo, I'm going to create it and then move on to migrating people from the current database into the next. So to be clear, it's a little bit early in May to do this, but you want to do it before the school year starts so that the new people registering are well handled. So the idea here is that we see the rules that are going to be applied. So for example, this is an elementary school, so if a kid is in grade 5, they're about to graduate, and therefore they should be removed. Otherwise, okay, so if the grade isn't equal to 5, then it's 4, 3, 2, 1K, then keep them, but increment the field for grade. So the kid that was in grade 4 is now going to be in grade 5, and yes, if a kid was in K, they would now be in grade 1. Another thing that's going to happen to these kids who are not in grade 5 is that their teacher field is going to be cleared. Staff should survive. It doesn't matter what grade they're in. It doesn't matter if they have dependents. We want to keep them. The visitors, there's two cases. It doesn't matter what grade they're in. They're visitors. They're yearbook salespeople and parents and so on. So there's two types of visitors, those that do and those that do not have dependents at the school. So the example at this little toy database was a sales guy who came in and doesn't have any dependents, and so he can go. The action for this guy will be to remove him. On the other hand, if there was a parent who did have dependents at the school, then they should be kept because they're still going to have parents unless those kids graduated. So yeah, we thought of that. If the kid's in grade 5 and graduates, then this visitor will also be removed. So before we start the process, we can preview what it's going to look like. We see that Mrs. Cooper, the teacher, will be kept. The kid who is in grade 4 will be incremented to grade 5, and her teacher will be cleared. And Vivian, who was a student, will be removed because she was in grade 5. So here we go. That's it. And if we go back and look at the data now, we'll see that Miss Cooper is still around. Shannon Kelly, who was in grade 4, is now in grade 5 and does not have a teacher assigned. And this visitor, I guess, I did have a dependent, sorry. So they were kept around. So that's how you manage the process of going from one year into the next.